Hey all, Doug Gordon here from The War on Cars, and what you're about to hear is a preview of a bonus episode for Patreon supporters. It's our live show, recorded in front of a sold-out audience at Caveat in New York City. We hope you enjoy it. If you want to hear the whole thing, become a Patreon supporter of The War on Cars. Go to thewaroncars.org, click Support Us, and for just $3 a month, you can get access to this and all of our exclusive bonus content, plus we will send you stickers. Oh, and we usually give Patreon supporters a heads up on live shows and discount tickets, so look out for that. Thanks so much.
Okay.
Awesome. Do we have? Well, we got a long line. I don't know if that's the line for the bar or the
Yeah.
Hi, I'm Jameson. I've lived in Carroll Gardens for 2 years, but I'm originally from Wisconsin. So I have
Here we tell you to go back to Carroll Gardens, just so you know.
I have nieces and nephews that I love dearly, and I see them really starting to be obsessed with trucks and cars. And this is something that I think a lot of kids go through. The part of me that wants to radicalize them, like, is there an alternative? Are there different toys, or do I fight this? Do I just let them have this obsession?
Aaron, you and I both had Matchbox cars as kids.
Yes.
Which we have always joked about, like doing an origin story episode of The War on Cars. We both had Matchbox. I still have mine, actually. My son plays with them.
I was potty trained with Matchbox cars as a bride.
Yeah.
Which
it explains a lot.
Get very Freudian with that.
I mean, but cars are cool, right? They make awesome sounds. They, honk honk and vroom vroom. They're anthropomorphic. They've got two eyes, unless you're the cars moving there on the windshield for some silly reason. But like bikes would be weird to be anthropomorphic. They'd be cyclopses, basically. And so I think it's fine. I mean,
I don't know. I mean,
I
as the mother of a 20-year-old person who grew up in New York City and who played with cars a lot and who read about cars all the time and watched the movie Cars, and it was cars, 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 and he still doesn't have a driver's license. I think you just don't have a car. And if like he just grew up going everywhere without a car, so that's how he gets around, and he's gonna get his driver's license, but he doesn't really care.
Yeah, it's tough. This is a tough one. We struggled with this a little bit, and your only hope is to get him into trains.
All right, next.
All right, who's next?
We got a question over here.
Yeah, thanks. Thanks, guys. And I'm proud on behalf of Steve and myself to be supporters of your
Vaccaro and White.
This is Adam White, everybody.
Warren.
Yeah.
Thank you.
By the way, you never want to work with Vaccaro and White. They're the best bike crash attorneys in New York City, and they really are the best. So,
first of all, a couple of thoughts. I loved guns as a kid. I played with guns. I'm extremely anti-gun.
Sorry, the War on Guns podcast is in the next room.
So to the father of the kids playing with cars and guns, or cars, knock yourselves out. I just, video games don't cause violence. Give them a gun. I mean, I love guns. I love playing war. I hate guns now. I'm very anti-gun. Anyway, that's just my 2 cents. I'm sorry for bringing up Caleb again, but I feel like, I gotta say, I feel like there are people I know who do rely on their car because they serve communities that don't have good public transit access, and they have compelling reasons to have cars. But I got to say, this is an interesting issue because we have someone here, Caleb, who is fired up. He's a self-hating car owner, and he may have a compelling reason to own a car. But my question is, which I didn't hear earlier, because I do feel like there's a lot of people in my neighborhood and a lot of people in our neighborhood, Park Slope, Windsor Terrace, etc. It's like owning a TV. Like, maybe people don't use TVs. They just park their cars. They have them. They need them. It is part of our culture. And I guess my question to Caleb is, does he have a particular reason why he can't let go of his car?
We're now in a real community board meeting because it's crosstalk.
This is not allowed.
That's why I've stopped going to community board meetings. And I'm not trying to attack Caleb. He may have a compelling reason, but I'm wondering why he won't let go of his car.
Come to the mic, but while you're doing that, I mean, here's the thing. I think there's a problem with advocates in that we always have to stand up and say, look, I know people need their cars, and I understand. And you always have to do that preemptive stuff. And I think you have to do that on when you're on the left side of the spectrum, there's this idea that you have to excuse the other side's behavior and the other side. I'm not saying the person who lives in a car-dependent, transit-depleted area can't use a car. That person should use a car. They don't have other options. But the people on my block who sit and, only move their car once a week and then use it to go to their home, in Vermont, sorry, Aaron, but, that, like, those are the people who are showing up to the community board meetings to say you can't put in a bike lane. I'm sorry 2 kids died, but you can't put in a bike lane because I go to Whole Foods on Saturdays. Like, fuck those people. I don't need to actually, so I think, like, we're not assholes. Like, no, of course, it built into my statement, there should be fewer cars, is this idea that the fewer cars that there are, great, the better it will be for the people who actually need them. I think that should be just implied in everything you hear.